Hello number ones, welcome back to my channel. This is the Metatron speaking. One of my favorite channels when it comes to medieval history is the channel Modern History TV with his host Jason Kingsley, who of course is, well, you know who he is. I don't think I need to introduce him again. But if for whatever reason you don't know who he is, you absolutely, if you like medieval history, this channel is like a gem. It's treasure. I haven't watched nor reacted to one of his videos in a very long time. We have done collaborations in the past, but one thing that I noticed that about a month ago, thank you YouTube algorithm for just letting me know that now, he made a video titled, "Does a medieval back scabbard serve any purpose at all?" This one here, and of course he's wearing mail, because why not? You know what, I kind of want to wear something. I think for this video, I'm going to wear some armor for you. I'll just do it later. Before jumping into actually watching some of it, as usual, I don't watch the entire thing, but I will watch a little bit and see if we can draw and have a little bit of a discussion about this, is the fact that scabbards, specifically back scabbards, was a topic that we all covered back in the day. It was a hot topic, in fact. I believe every channel in the community of the sword has got a few videos on this. Shadiversity, Marcus Vance, who I don't know who he is, but there we go. You got a shout out, whoever you are. And then we've got, of course, Scallagrim, Nine Directions got one, Nate V. Wow, I'll have to watch this one later. More Scallagrim, Swordsman Craft, Daniel Lopez, the Blind Samurai. Of course, we've got Screen Tested, although that's not exact, but he does have it. More from Shad, more for Shad. Goodness gracious, Shad got obsessed by it. Backer Lee, one day ago, will you look at that? Then there was probably the most successful video made by Night Squire, was his video on drawing a sword from the back, although then again, it's kind of a shame he stopped posting, but it was a pretty cool channel. I actually met him in England when I went to London. There we go, that's what I was looking for. I believe Robin Swords has got a few very good videos about sword in general, and I don't know if he has one about swords in the back, but just wanted to mention the guy. And clearly I have my own from 9 years ago, plenty of videos about sword in the back. Look at that, I've got a Roman edition as well. Point is, sword in the back, does it work? Will it not work? Is it historical? Did anyone ever do it? It's been a big thing. It's been a topic. It's just that it's a little bit of a nostalgic topic now, if you will. But it seems like we're back, and I'm all for it. Let's see what Jason brings to the table.
I've been wondering a little bit about back scabbards. Yes, we know they weren't really a big thing in historical circumstances, but they sort of keep coming up in popular culture, and I had a bit of a brainwave. Now, obviously, an ordinary sword, this is a 12th century type of blade, so it's not very long, would just go on like this. It's beautiful, not very difficult sword to put on. It hangs below your normal belt, because swords typically hang a bit lower than other belts. It just sits there like that. Nice. It's very easy. You get used to it completely when moving around. It does stick out though. So if you're in a civilian situation or traveling, you end up, well, I end up when I'm using it, holding it quite a bit.
Me too. I do that too, all the time. It becomes like a reflex.
Using this hand and then holding this to make sure it doesn't get in the way. Also, when you're with horses, this can, if you spin around, this can clock them in the legs. It doesn't do any harm, but it's not very nice for the horse. And you just...
Not very nice.
Get aware of it. So you get sort of a certain amount of sword knowledge. However, I had a bit of a mad thought.
Let's go.
Bear with me, because I've not seen this in any illustrations. If we tie this up ordinarily...
Let's see. Is he going to wear it like this? I think he's going to wear it like this.
Put it in a loop.
Yeah. In the loop.
It's effectively going to be a bit of a slip knot, but
right.
Can I wear it over?
Yeah, for transportation, by the way, I don't think there would be anything wrong with that. If you were going into battle and you had a big sword, you would probably carry it by hand. However, when it comes to transportation, it was done historically. I'm not sure I can find iconography to justify that statement when it comes to the medieval period in Europe, but there is iconography when it comes to that in Japan, specifically for non-combat transportation and for bigger swords like a nodachi or a nodachi. And you could think, yeah, but what if you need to draw it? Isn't that a problem, the whole discussion of whether or not you can draw it from your back? And the answer is you would have other swords to defend yourself, so that would be just for transportation purposes.
My shoulder like that. Now,
right,
that is very difficult to get. I can get the sword there, and I certainly can't draw it, but
there is a way to draw it. I'll show you. I got it.
in terms of, actually it's come undone, probably won't work with this kind of a sword. Let me get a different sword. This is a very early sword. So the principle is, yes, it might go on your back, slung over your shoulder. Let me get a longer sword with an actual buckle and have a look.
Okay.
Because there's some things I want to do, and I'm going to go and try it on a horse as well. This is a late 15th century.
Man, look at the color of that scabbard. My gosh, it's like is it like a cherry wood? Is it just me? There's a little bit of a red tint.
Hand and a half sword, bastard sword.
Yeah.
So called because it's neither a two-handed sword nor a one-handed sword. It does both. It's a diamond cross section. It's very good for piercing, very good for slashing. That's not the point of this video though, but this is a very handy sword. I use it from horseback one-handed all the time. I've had it put in a slightly older, possibly slightly anachronistic scabbard for this period. Normally
no one would notice unless you're like a medieval specialist, like actual specialist.
They're a bit more loose, suspended, but I prefer this kind of a scabbard when I'm on horseback.
Yeah.
It holds the sword more closely to your side and doesn't bounce around nearly as much. It does bounce around, but not as much. It occurred to me that you can just put it over your body, shoulder, like that.
Yeah.
And, well, it will be very easy to carry, and it doesn't stick out very much.
I wonder if we'll go inside the horse.
I'm going to go and try this on horseback. You'll notice I've been training a little bit, and I got caught by a branch on Ghost the other day. I don't know whether you can see that.
Yeah, you got a scar.
Yeah, so scratched quite badly.
I doubt it's going to leave a scar.
It'll heal, doesn't matter. I misinterpreted where a branch was and got smacked in. Quite badly, bleeding, but it's fine now. But I'm going to try a bit more going through speed through the woods with the sword like this on horseback. Now it is not ready to be used. I could just about get this sword in a very awkward way, completely exposing all of this side of
that would not be, of course, you could draw a sword much more effectively from the side.
My body, so it's a totally dreadful perspective to have a sword if you are expecting to fight. But if you're just carrying it and you're going through branches or...
Yeah, the Japanese did it.
Lots of weeds or anything that's going to get in the way, I think it's not bad actually as a solution.
So let me show that thing that I was talking about when it comes to being able to draw it or not. So there is one more video that I made quite a few years ago, which is how to draw your sword from the back. I found a way. Kind of want to show you. It's this one here. Young Metatron. Poser. Yeah, as you can see though, you could be like, yeah, but the scabbard is not connected. I do it with the connected one as well. And I also found a way to put it back without looking. I did do that. Okay, here is when I'm going to explain it, but ideally you want to pull from the top and pull from the bottom. So when you need to draw the sword, I know that this will be terrible when it comes to your personal defense, but imagine you're wearing a little bit of armor. The left hand goes in the back and touches the scabbard, which is something he did already. The right hand touches the top, and then you pull from both, and it works. As long as it's not too tight and it's a little loose, it works. Right then, so let's see again how this is done. When you need to put it back, put it back. I feel a little bit the blade, and then you put it back like that. Now, of course, you have to be careful if it's sharp, but with a katana, it's not a problem because there is the spine is dull anyways, so that could be done. See? And it can be put back. And then there is one more video where I showed it, which is this one here. Draw it from a ready position, and then we're going to simulate an ambush. Of course, this is better, obviously. There we go. So now I'm actually carrying it. It's on my back. I'm just resting my hand here. There it goes. And when I put it back, it did take a little practice to put it back, but it's doable. It's absolutely doable. And of course you can attack and put it back. See? I just directed, in fact in this case I think I did a better job at directing with just one finger. Here I'm even doing it with a very cheap European sword that was before I bought the good one. Man, look at that, no dodge in the back. And it's still doable. A little harder. But boom, put it back. Do I draw it? Let me see. Yeah, I do draw it. There we go. So you draw it because I'm also pulling it down. And then, if I need to put it back, yeah, so it's doable. So let's see on horseback then, because as I say, okay, so he's doing a version with a mantle. I'll skip through that so you guys can actually watch it, and we're just going to watch a little bit of the end when he's on horseback, and let's see what he says. But if you want to watch all of this, I'll put a link in the description and in a pinned comment. Do give him a like, subscribe to Jason Kingsley, and of course leave a comment.
Isn't causing any problems whatsoever, either to Warlord or to me.
Nice.
There's a bit of weight on my shoulder, but it's like carrying a bag, really. That's what you'd expect. There's nothing you can do about that, and it's completely manageable. I am going fairly slowly though, so I'm just pottering along at a reasonable walk, a sort of brisk walk I suppose, probably 4 miles an hour. And
a brisk walk, I never heard it called like that. You always learn from natives, don't you? Particularly highly educated natives. A brisk walk, that's what I'm going to call it. I'll tell my wife tomorrow, let's go for a brisk walk.
It's easy peasy, but I'm just going to go a little faster in a second when I get out of this particularly muddy area, and see whether it jogs around when I'm trotting, which I don't really like trotting. It's very uppy and downy movement, and sort of bad for the horse's back, especially a horse that's semi-retired like Warlord. And I don't think it's very medieval either. I think they either walked or
gallop.
Well, there are other pacing and all sorts of other medieval gaits for a horse, but basically I'm pretty sure they either walked or cantered. That was about it really. Those are the two things they chose, and those are the easiest paces to use.
Makes sense.
Right, so let's go a little faster here. Good boy, trot on. Yeah, not really a problem. Not
Very
doing
cool.
anything. Male is making a bit of a noise, but nah, absolutely no problem at all.
Could you imagine if you ran into him? I mean, I guess this is his property, so I suppose you wouldn't run into him, but imagine if he did this in a public woods, which maybe he does, I don't know. Imagine you run into him. Man, wouldn't this great helm look great with that?
So it's a very practical way of carrying a sword on your back, from terms of carrying it, not from the terms of being able to use it or access it very quickly. So for example, if you were carrying multiple weapons, you might want a sword on your hip, and you might want a sword on your back and a spear in one hand too. So
very cool, loved it. Very, very interesting, and as I say, it brought back memories from the old days. All right, but thank you very much for watching. Thank you, Jason, for making this very interesting and illustrative video. As always, Jason puts on the armor, gets on a horse. I mean, I wish I had access to a horse, as if there's a way. But yeah, I love that about the channel. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you tomorrow for my next daily upload. And remember, the Metatron has spread his wings. Goodbye.